So we have our plane right here. It's a little bit boring in my mind. We probably want to add a little bit more to our scene, so let's go ahead and do that. So we go back, we're going to go to our hierarchy and click Create again. I'm going to do 3D object, I'm going to do a cube this time. And it's going to place it down, and I'm going to press F and just zoom in on it. You can see it's sort of placed below the ground, so I'm just going to use these arrows right here, and I'm going to drag it up. Drag it over to the left a little bit. Looking good. Okay, man, maybe right about there. Maybe I'll drag it down to the ground. Okay, sweet. So that's one thing that's demonstrated right here. We have the move tool, so you can move our objects in Unity. You can see we also have these, like the red box right here. If you click on that, it lets you move it along that plane. This can be useful mostly when you're looking down at an object and you want to move it along the ground. You can click on this and just move it along the ground like that. You'll get used to this as time goes on. Cool. So those aren't the only things you can do using Unity. In addition, up here in our top left, you can see all the possible things we can do to our objects. So right next to it, right next to our Move tool, which is what we're currently doing, we have our Rotate tool. If you click on that, it's going to pop up this. So our Rotate tool does pretty much as you'd expect. It lets you rotate the object. If you click anywhere on it, you can just go boom and just start randomly dragging it around, getting a nice good spin on it. However, most of the time this isn't actually that useful because you want to have a lot of control over how you're rotating things. But with your Rotate tool, you usually want to move it along an axis. So you can grab the blue one right there and just rotate it really specifically along that. Maybe grab the red one, pull it a bit more over there. So this gives you some more fine-tuned control over the rotation of your objects. Then last but not least, we have our Scaling tool. Up here, it's bam, click on that, and you can see if we sort of look around our object right there, that we have these boxes coming out. So now if we grab one of these, you can just start stretching out your object and getting some weird shapes. So you can stretch it in a little bit maybe, stretch it out, you know, standard stuff. A lot of 3D movements. So this is sort of your bread and butter for moving objects around in Unity. You'll get very used to it over time. Last thing with the scale tools, if you click the middle, it's going to let you scale everything all together. Cool, cool. So for all these tools, you actually have really fine-grained control of it right over here in our inspector. So you can see we have things like position, rotation, and scale, all handled right there. So you can sort of grab one of these and type in 2, it'll adjust it, type in 5, it'll adjust it, or you can just click on one of the axes or one of the letters and just drag it over like that. Your preference, everything works the same. Cool. And then a few other things that we're going to be using a lot actually as the tutorial goes on. When you hold Control or Command, depending on your Mac or Windows, and then grab one of these things, it's going to snap in unit intervals. So it'll sort of let you snap it along, get a few like that. So this is going to be really helpful when you're doing level design just because it's usually pretty nice to keep things on a grid. Same thing happens with your rotation. It can snap on rotations. So useful things to keep in mind. And then last but not least, if you go over to our Move tool, then if you hold down the V key, it's sort of going to start snapping to the edges of this cube, which is a little bit weird, but I'm going to grab this bottom right edge right here. You can grab whatever edge you like, click on it, and if you start dragging it down, it's going to place it right on the plane. Or it might place it over at the corner, whatever vertex you want. So this is actually called vertex snap. It behaves a little bit differently depending on the object, but it's going to be really useful when we start prototyping later on.